What's going on, Shady people? Shady Penguin here, welcoming you back for another season of the GBA. We are here with our very first prep week for our first game. We are going up against the Milwaukee Sawsbucks, coached, I said that really weird, Sawsbucks, coached by Magnitude Steve, the creator of the league, one of the first people I ever spoke to on YouTube. Definitely go check his channel, link is in the description. He's an awesome guy, as are all the guys in the GBA. So, we're going up against the Milwaukee Sawsbucks, and we're basically going to do what we were doing for the UCL. We're going to prep. But something I have to say really quick, as you guys notice, I'm not wearing my Mankey shirt. Unfortunately, my washing machine destroyed my Mankey shirt. I think I put it on the wrong setting. I don't know what I did, but a bunch of my clothes got kind of, and the Mankey shirt was one of them. Actually, it was the dryer, not the washing machine. I apologize. The dryer, and I ordered a new one. It's not here yet, though, so I won't have the Mankey shirt. So if you guys can all make sure you wear them for the game tomorrow, I'd really appreciate it, because I need all the Mankey love I can get. Hopefully we can pull through with a W. We're going to go over really quick the Milwaukee Sawsbucks team. You guys can just listen really quick, because I'm going to say the 12 Pokemon that he could potentially be bringing. He has, and I quote, if I can find his team. Oh, there we go. Okay, his team is disgusting. He's got Heatran, Rotom Wash, Conkeldurr, Shaman, Haxorus, Kecleon, Skuntank, Dugtrio, Delphox, Sigilyph, and Mega Gardevoir. So a lot of scary Pokemon, and it's insane. He has Heatran, Rotom Wash, Shaman. That is your grass, water, fire core, but it's with a steel type. Heatran, one of the best fire types, if not the best defensive fire type in the game. And then Rotom Wash, I'm gonna go ahead and say the best defensive water type in the game. Maybe not, it doesn't have reliable recovery, don't get me wrong, but it has Levitate, which is amazing, and it has Stab Electric. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. Incredible Pokemon. So, really scary. On the offensive time, he has Conkeldurr, and we used the Conkeldurr before, and we know how powerful that thing is. Gosh darn it, Steve, why is your team so intimidating? He's also got the Haxorus, the Pokemon we were considering drafting. So if we get swept by a Haxorus this week, I'm gonna be miserable, because I was so close to drafting that instead of our Zygarde. I was so close. I don't know, man. I just don't know anymore. Then, of course, he's got Kecleon, which is scary. A lot of special defense, and of course, Protean is an intimidating thing. And he has Skuntank, which I've drafted in the UCL. I love Skuntank. I think it's a great defogger. He's got Dugtrio, which is his only ground type. I took a bunch of notes. Let me see if I can actually find the notes that I took, so I can read from them. I did. All right, cool, sweet. So he's got the Dugtrio. It's his only ground type, but it's a great one. It's fast with Arena Trap and also a Sucker Punch. So I got to watch out for that. And then he's got the Sigilyph and the Mega Gardevoir. So Sigilyph is his only way of preventing rocks. I don't think he has any spinners or any defoggers, unless well, he has Skuntank, which is a defogger. Shoot, I forgot about that. So he has Skuntank as his defogger, and Sigilyph can bounce hazards back, but that's about it. So if we don't see Skuntank, it means that we're gonna be able to get rocks up and keep them there if we choose to bring them. His Mega Gardevoir is terrifying, because it pretty much poops all over our Venusaur. It shuts it down, is what I was gonna say. It's got the Psychic. It's a fast Psychic. It outspeeds Mega Venusaur, and he's got Psychic or Psyshock, and either way, that's going to hurt like a Banshee. So I'm sure he's going to want to create the situation, and I almost didn't want to bring Mega Venusaur because of that. I almost didn't want to bring Mega Venusaur because the Mega Gardevoir just so easily poops on me, but I really couldn't not bring it, considering he's got Rotom, he's got Shaman, which I can hit really hard. He's got a couple things that don't appreciate a Venusaur, so I think I'm going to end up bringing it this week. I know I'm going to end up bringing it this week, but really quick, I'm just going to read some of the notes that I took. He's got an incredible core. Like I said, he's got the Heatran, Rotom Wash, and Shaman. That's awesome. He's got no steel type though, and he only has one ground type in Dugtrio. So we can have fun with electric type moves once that thing is gone, if we choose to bring electric type moves. But we don't really have a great electric Pokemon, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have Rotom Heat, but Rotom Heat really doesn't like my opponent's team. I mean, he's got Heatran to absorb fire attacks. He's got Rotom Wash to absorb fire attacks. Nothing on his team is crazy weak to electric besides the Sigilyph. So there's really nothing there. He doesn't really have a fear of electric type attacks, unless I was going to Volt Switch all over the place, which I guess is an option for us, but it's not one that I'm going to go with because of that fact. Like I said, he's got plenty of Megazord counters. He's got a Delphox, Gardevoir, Sigilyph, all of which outspeed and hit me really hard for super effective damage. And that's one of our worst matchups for sure. Is those powerful psychic types. Gardevoir scares me. The priority that he has access to is in Conkeldurr, Dugtrio, Sucker Punch, Skuntank, Sucker Punch, and Kecleon has Shadow Sneak and Sucker Punch. Conkeldurr has Mach Punch. So he's got 2 ground immunities in Sigilyph and Rotom Wash. He's got 2 Fairy Resists, I believe. No Spinner, just a Defogger and a Magic Bouncer. Jirachi does really well against my opponent's team. It does really well. Minus the Heatran, it does really well against my opponent's team. So if we can go ahead and get rid of that thing, it would be awesome. Then I think that Jirachi can have a lot of fun. And Miss Magius was a Pokemon I was really considering bringing because I'm immune to all of his forms of priority except for Sucker Punch. So sub Miss Magius could go really, really well for us. Zygarde could also be pretty well with a D-Dan setup, but unfortunately after running calcs, I saw that Adamant Zygarde only does 42% to a defensive Rotom at +1. So that's a huge drag. I didn't think Zygarde was going to do well. So with all those notes in mind, I built this team of 6 right here. You guys can see we're going to go over these Pokemon one at a time. So the first Pokemon I ended up grabbing was the Alakazam. I know that's kind of weird considering it was a later pick, but I think it was a fantastic pickup. And I think this Alakazam is going to be so crucial to us winning. I really do. It's the fastest Pokemon on my team. You guys can see I gave him 252 speed, 252 special attack, and 4 HP. I feel as though... Is there a reason why I went 252? Oh, you know what it is? Because I speed tie with the Dugtrio right now if he's Adamant and not Jolly, but I feel like he'd go Jolly Dugtrio. I thought there was another reason I did. I guess not, because I think that I can play with the speed at this point. I'm gonna take a closer look at his team, because I might be able to play with the speed a little bit. I really thought there was some reason why I had to run Max. I thought there was one Pokemon that gets really fast besides the Dugtrio. Because honestly, if you're running... I want to run Modest because I want the extra damage output. I really, really do. But Dugtrio, I believe, has 120 speed. It does have 120 speed. So if he's running Jolly, he's going to outspeed me with it, and that's a huge problem. But at the same time, he has Sucker Punch, so it doesn't really matter. He's going to be able to smack me right across the face. Right across the face. Who else would be possibly fast? How fast is Sigaglyph? Sigaglyph is 97, so not fast enough. Kecleon, no. Haxorus, 97, I believe. Shaman is base 100. Conkeldurr. I wonder why I did this. Because Shaman, even if he runs a fast Shaman, which is on my mind, I think he might end up running a fast Shaman. It goes to 167, so I could potentially bring this down to 168 and give myself a few extra hit points. So I think we can do that. I don't see a reason not to. I think that's the best thing for us to do, unless I'm missing something, which I'll readjust it in case I do. But I think that I can go 220 speed because the fastest thing on his team. The fastest thing on his team isn't the Shaman. Like, look at Delphox. Delphox is 104. That was it. Yup. Okay, there we go. Delphox has 104 speed. And it maxes out at 171. I'm so glad I found it. Oh my gosh, if I would have changed that and used it tomorrow. Delphox maxes out at 171 timid. Luckily, my 20 points come in clutch. My 16 points higher, I should say. And I max out at 172 modest. So that's why we're keeping Jafar like that. As far as his moves go, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, and Hidden Power Ground. So pretty straightforward. This thing has fun with all of my opponent's team, I think, unless I miss it. The only thing that I don't have super effective damage for is the Haxorus, and I was considering running Dazzling Gleam, but I just don't think it's worth it. Once I see his team at Team Preview, it's going to be interesting, because then I have to make a lot of decisions on how I'm going to play. But I have Hidden Power Ground for the Heatran, I have Energy Ball for the Rotom, I have Psyshock for the gosh darn Conkeldurr. I don't have any super effective damage for the Shaman, so I have to keep that in mind. None for Haxorus. Kecleon, he changes typing all the time, so I really don't know what I'm going to do about that. Skuntank, I have Hidden Power Ground. Dugtrio, I have Energy Ball. Delphox, I have Shadow Ball. Sigaglyph and Mega Gardevoir, I have Shadow Ball. So the real reason this thing exists is for the Delphox and the Gardevoir. I think this Pokemon is going to be the ticket to getting rid of that gosh darn Mega Gardevoir. I don't really have many other ways besides, I mean, I have the Jirachi, but I feel like he'll never keep the Jirachi in. I don't know. It's going to be a really, really tough match. I love having in Power Ground on here because I think that maybe Heatran might end up carrying a berry to reduce fighting type damage, considering I have a Hitmontop potentially, and I'm bringing it. So this is our Alakazam. I think it's going to be so important. It's super fast, super strong, 135 special attack. I'm running the Focus Sash, and I think that'll be clutch because this thing is super frail, but I want it to be able to take down at least one Pokemon, and I don't think Shadow Ball's not going to one-shot a Mega Gardevoir, especially if he builds defensive. It's not going to one-shot, so I need to be able to take that thing down with this, even if it costs me going to Focus Sash. So there's our Jafar. Our next Pokemon is the gosh darn Shooting Star Jirachi, a Pokemon that I don't think I've ever used on the channel before, potentially not. I'm running Choice Scarf Jirachi with U-Turn, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt, and Drain Punch. So this set's pretty straightforward. I love Jirachi because it hurts the Mega Gardevoir. It has U-Turn, so it's nice and switch initiative. It can also hit a lot of other things hard. It has super effective damage for the Heat Turn, although I don't want to opt for Drain Punch. I really want to take the Heat Turn out in a different way. I can't hit the Rotom Wash with super effective damage with this Pokemon, but I have options with Energy Ball and then the Mega Venusaur later on down the road, so I'm not too concerned about it. And the Zen Headbutt should still hurt. Or I could always U-turn into something that's better. I have U-turn for the Shaman. Haxorus doesn't want to take an Iron Head, really. I don't think he does, or even a Zen Headbutt. Does not want to take a Zen Headbutt. Kecleon doesn't want to take a Zen Headbutt or an Iron Head. Iron Head's a little bit safer so that he doesn't go like Sucker Punch and turn into a Dark type. Kecleon's really scary. If Steve brings it, Kecleon is terrifying. Skuntank, I don't think I have. I just have a U-turn to get out of there or Drain Punch for neutral damage. Dugtrio, I'm not staying in. Well, I have to U-turn on Dugtrio. Hopefully he's not Choice Scarfed, and hopefully he doesn't Sucker Punch me. Delphox, I'm U-turning out of there. Sigilyph, once again, U-turning out of there, and Mega Gardevoir, I'm going for that Iron Head. So good coverage on a Jirachi to take on any of the Pokemon that Steve decides to bring. I think this thing is going to be clutch. Really nice base stats, all 100. Choice Scarfer, going to be very interesting not having that Mew that we were used to having in the UCL, but the Steel typing is really nice for us. It's our Fairy Killer, and it's weird to have Jirachi be your Fairy Killer because it's usually, I mean, it can be so many different things. It can be a defensive mon, it can set up, it has Stealth Rock access. I think it might get Healing Wish. It does get Healing Wish, which we definitely have to keep in mind for later on, because I think Healing Wish could be really, really clutch. But that's our Jirachi, that's our Shooting Star. Our next Pokemon is the beautiful Sakura, of course. After franchising this mon, I have to bring it week 1. It's got Recover, Scald, Ice Beam, and Mirror Coat. Leftovers, I'm actually running a bold Milotic, but I'm running max special defense to take advantage of that Mirror Coat. This is my backup plan for the Gardevoir. To Mirror Coat that sucker after Thunderbolts or Hyper Voices me. I think Hyper Voice is actually stronger thanks to the Pixelate and the Stab. I think so. So after taking a Hyper Voice, which Hyper Voice does like I think 50 or 60% to this Milotic, I can just Mirror Coat and one-shot it. So that'll be awesome. Once again, this is just our recovery, our reliable recovery Pokemon. Can take some hits on either side, honestly. Loves them on the special side. So I'll have to make a Pokemon for physical hits later on. But the coverage isn't great, but it does wall the Heatran pretty well. I can Scald it and take it down. I don't think that, I mean, if you run sub Heatran, I could just Scald those subs and they'll drop in one shot. So it's really nice. Rotom, obviously I have nothing for, and I just have Mirror Coat. If he doesn't have a Dark type and there's a point where he's going to Volt Switch me, I will Mirror Coat and I'll take something out. Because I won't take something out because Volt Switch won't do too much depending on how he builds his Rotom. Conkeldurr, I don't want to burn that thing, so I don't think I'm ever going to leave my Milotic in against a Conkeldurr. Shaman, it scares me a lot, but I could take a special hit like a Seed Flare. I think Seed Flare special. I could be wrong. I'll check that right now. Seed Flare, Cerebi, X and Y. Now, Shaman can be anything. He might run a Scarf Shaman. He might run, I don't know. There's just options. It is special. I thought so. So I can take a Seed Flare, fire off a Mirror Coat. I think that Shaman could just be a lot of different things, kind of like my Rachi, so it's going to be interesting. Haxorus, I have the Ice Beam. This is like my Haxorus, one of my Haxorus answers, because I'm really scared of that thing. Kecleon, just got to burn it. Skuntank, same thing. Dugtrio, same thing. Delphox, I can go for the Scald. Sigilyph, I go for the Ice Beam. And Mega Gardevoir, I go for the Mirror Coat. So once again, any of the Pokemon that this thing goes up against, it's going to be really nice. The only thing I don't want to be up against is really the Conkeldurr and the Rotom Wash. I don't really favor that matchup. I can't do much to him. But our next Pokemon is the Dreidel. Now, this Pokemon I'm really proud of. I'm so proud of because I'm bringing Red Card. And I never bring Red Card, but hear me out. So this is Dreidel, our Hitmontop with Red Card. He's our Rapid Spinner. He's got Bullet Punch for the Mega Gardevoir and just a little bit of priority because we don't have any on the team otherwise, at least this team specifically. And then we have Close Combat. And we have, do I have other priority? I have Extreme Speed Zygarde. And we have Earthquake. So Bullet Punch is just there for a little priority, and it scares the Mega Gardevoir because if I have to go down, I'm just gonna Bullet Punch him away. But I don't want to burn my Red Card. So my big Red Card target is Conkeldurr. What I'm really expecting is to switch into a Conkeldurr's knockoff. Say Jirachi's out, and I'm gonna U-turn out into the, or I'm gonna switch out depending on what I'm locked into. Switch out into the Dreidel, get the Intimidate off. Red Card still triggers when I go for knockoff, I believe. I'm almost positive. I could be so wrong and this could not work, but I Googled it and it looked like Red Card still triggers. So we'll find out this week if it does. But I plan on switching this thing in. I'll take a resisted Intimidated hit and get that Conkeldurr out of there, which hopefully will be a good time. Now you guys notice I don't have rocks on this team, so I'm not relying, that's why I'm not bringing Dragon Tail Sakura, I'm not bringing any kind of fancy roars. I'm just gonna say, you know what, we're having a hazardless battle for week 1. I really didn't want to put rocks on a Choice Scarf Jirachi, I just didn't. I wanted the move coverage there. And then this thing is just to get rid of any hazards that he puts up on our side. I mean, he has the option to put rocks up. I think his only, maybe that's what it was. I think his only rock setter is actually, if Dugtrio even, does he have a rock setter? Heatran, that's right, duh, Heatran. So that's why we're bringing this, because if you go, I also, another target for the red card is the Heatran. I'd love to switch in, then he sets up Stealth Rocks, then I just go for the Rapid Spin, get them away, and then he goes for an attack, and then he gets forced out. That's one thing that I think is gonna happen if he brings Heatran as his rock setter. And then of course, I have sub Heatran on the mind. So it'll be really nice if he sets up a sub as I switch in my Hitmontop, and then he goes for a hit, and then he gets forced out and he just wasted his HP. That's another red card situation, but I really think we're gonna use it on the Conkeldurr. But close combat is just stab, and Earthquake is there to hit the Heatran. Really, that's really it. Nothing else, and Skuntank as well, and the Delphox, but nothing crazy. So really, you're just here to red card someone, Rapid Spin rocks away, and then get a little bit of damage off. That's why I made him max HP, max attack. He's not supposed to live too many hits. He can live one of almost anything as long as it's not a super effective psychic attack, which scares me that I'm not bringing a dark type. I was really close to bringing Mismagius as well, but I already have 2 psychic types. And if he brings just like Shadow Ball Mega Gardevoir, Shadow Ball Delphox, and then he brings like Kecleon. That's why if he brings Kecleon, I'm donezo. I have to go to Kecleon with Lagoer and Dreidel. It's it. It's the only thing I can do. So it's gonna be scary. Leading the team with 2 psychic types is definitely not the smartest thing in the world, but we're doing it. Then our next Pokemon is our Mega Venusaur. Now, this set is really different from what I would normally run. I'm running Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, Sludge Bomb, Leaf Storm. The EV spread, you guys can see it on the screen. It's a little complicated. I basically just took it from Smogon. I might have modified it a little bit, but I don't think I did. I think I just wanted to live hits on either side, because the Gardevoir, I don't know if he's going to hit for Psychic or Psyshock. So I need to be able to live either one of those. And this spread lives either one of those. And I can get a Sludge Bomb off, do a lot of damage, or just put it to sleep. So if Sleep Powder misses at all, I promise you there will be screaming tomorrow. There will be screaming tomorrow if Sleep Powder misses, but I have to run it. I think being able to put something to sleep is going to be super clutch. I don't usually run Sleep Powder on anything because of the accuracy, but hopefully we don't miss it week 1. Maybe we can miss it week 2 or 3, but not week 1. I really appreciate not missing week 1. And then of course we have Sludge Bomb, super effective on a lot of things, and Leaf Storm. So the Heatran is a huge problem for us, for this guy, but we have an answer to the Heatran, Hidden Power, Ground Jafar, and in our Dreidel, and in our Sakura. So it's fine. Heatran can't really touch us too much. He can't even I don't think Heatran gets Thunder Wave. He can't even Toxic us. So I think that Heatran just gets walled by me, but I can't do anything to it. I'm close. I was really close to running Earthquake instead of Leech Seed, but I think Leech Seed will be nice to force some plays. I don't want Steve to get comfortable on the field with certain Pokemon, no matter who it is. I don't want Rotom to, Rotom's going to switch out when my Venusaur comes in. I can Leech Seed something, then potentially force another switch, or just have HP recovery constant. So and then if we see the Sigilyph, we have to be careful. There's just so much going on. But this is our Venusaur set, and I'm really looking forward to seeing gosh darn, and by the way, his name is Takahata, because I love Takahata from Team 4-Star, and for some reason, he just became my Venusaurs. And then our final Pokemon is Lagoer. So it's really interesting because their team looks a little, I don't want to say dumpy, but what are our tier 1 picks? We got Jirachi, Milotic was our tier 2, and we're not bringing any of our tier 3 Mons. We're bringing a tier 4 Mon, which is Hitmontop, and then we're bringing Alakazam and Granbull. And I think Alakazam is tier 2 and Granbull's tier 4 or tier, I think it is, I'm not sure. Well, either way, I feel like our team looks a little dimpy, and I feel like Steve's team is just gonna be like Heatran, Rotom Wash, Conkeldurr, Shaman, Haxorus, and Kecleon. No, well, Mega Gardevoir has to come too. So Heatran, Rotom Wash, Conkeldurr, Shaman, Haxorus, and Mega Gardevoir. So maybe he won't bring the Kecleon. Well, okay, if he doesn't bring the Kecleon, that would be awesome. But if he does, then I think he would go ahead and forego possibly the Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is too good not to bring though. Maybe the Haxorus. Maybe he won't bring the Haxorus and he'll bring the Kecleon instead. Or he's just not gonna bring it. He's just gonna bring his first 5 Mons, which I don't blame him, and then Mega Gardevoir. I mean, that sounds great to me. Sounds like a great team. I don't know what's gonna happen. But this is our Granbull. I totally got sidetracked. We're running Assault Vest Lagoer with Play Rough, Rock Tomb, Earthquake, and Close Combat. Max attack, max HP, but an Impish nature so I can take hits on either side. I'm running the Assault Vest so that I can take special hits, and I'm running Impish just so I can have a little bit of defense. With the Intimidate, I can take a not super effective hit. This, actually, I can live a Poison Jet from a Haxorus just fine and one shot him with Play Rough. So this is my Haxorus answer if he does bring it. If he brings the Kecleon, honestly, this thing will do great against Kecleon too, because Kecleon can't Protean into, I don't think he has access to Steel or Poison type moves. I mean, Toxic, but to resist the Play Rough, and Play Rough's gonna hurt because Kecleon does not have a lot of defense. So This is my answer to the Kecleon or the Haxorus. And Rock Tomb is there because if I feel like I'm going to force a switch, I'm going to slow something down. I'm just going to slow it down. Forget it. Just going to throw a Rock Tomb as he brings in his Rotom Wash or his Heatran, probably most likely the Heatran, and then I can go for an EQ and hopefully outspeed the Heatran thanks to the Rock Tomb. So that's another little cheeky thing that I have planned for sure, but I'm really excited for this. The GBA is going to be a lot of fun. It is super competitive. If you guys only have been around since the UCL, the GBA is the UCL on steroids because it is top level drafts and players. Everyone's draft is insane. No one has a bad draft. Everyone's draft has something that you're just like, what am I going to do? So, and obviously everyone in the UCL is great too, but the UCL was advertised and was a semi-competitive league. This is the competitive league, in my opinion. This was the first one, and there's a bunch of competitive leagues out there, and they're all awesome. But this is the one that I'm a part of, and I really love it, and I really would love to win the cup for season 5 of the GBA. So this is our week 1 team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I believe our next week opponent is actually Crimson Seabed. So if you want to take a look at his team, there's a link in the description. There should be to the website, or you can go check out his channel. Just look up Crimson Seabed on YouTube and you can see his draft. And let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see me bring? Just leave comments. I'm not necessarily going to strip them and use them because then my opponent will know all my strats, but I can get some inspiration from you guys, and I'd really appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video and you're hyped for the Mankeys this season, please show some shady love to that thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. If you hated this video and you hate the Mankeys, leave a dislike and let me know that you hate us in the comment section. I would appreciate that as well. I love you so much. I'm going to get the heck out of here. Have yourselves a good day, but above all else, keep